Jade, and this is
Dale. And we were part of his Chinese act, Chumming.
what?
No, that's me.
The act was.
You had a name for it?
It was pictures. Better Chumming you, but we were asked to be in his act.
Because we're both Chinese and he's doing a Chinese act.
Okay, so we brought authenticity to the act.
It was Polish Chinese.
He really taught us a lot about the business. For me, it was the discipline it took to do professional magic, and whether or not I had it within me to become a professional or not. Everybody he touched really got the same lecture, and you really had to see within yourself, check out your own DNA, whether or not the craft that you decide to do is worthy of taking the passion and the effort and the dedication to do it. His most popular story he kept rattling off to me was when he hung out at the Hollywood Magic, and Blackstone Sr., not Junior, but Sr. Hung out in the store. And they would do the things that magicians do at magic stores. They hang out and they talk about business. Where are you traveling to? Oh my goodness, you're gonna be, going all the way across to the East Coast, and what's that like, as he was growing up. And he says, young man, you wanna be a magician? No, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're gonna be a professional, you're gonna get good, or you're gonna get out. Blackstone Sr. was gruff, but he was honest and he was sincere about what he had to say. And believe it or not, Jim, growing up all the way through when he was with the Long Beach Mystics, he was a founding member. He got that message all the time from the pros. Do a good job and you get out of it what you put into it. And he pushed that on us. He was like, Dale, you gotta stand up straight. Dale, you gotta look at the audience. For crying out loud, what are you staring at the floor? There's no money down there. But he was really, somebody said he's opinionated, and his opinions were based on what he lived through. And I'm really happy that he shared those opinions with me and with other people that he tried to reach out to. Some of them took it to heart and some others didn't. A side story, one of our magicians that's in the area, Jim had a bad opinion about him, and he wrote him a letter. And the letter said, I've seen your act, I've seen what you produce, get out of the business, do magic, a benefit. The guy framed it. Stuck it on the wall. You take bad news, you either run or you get better. He got better. Yeah, this guy's working now. And he definitely gives credit to that letter. And I was watching America's Got Talent just like a couple episodes back, and his comedian was bombing up there. He had jokes all lined up, ready to go, and he did his delivery and it didn't work out. And Howie Mandel said, learn from this little incident, right? Don't give up. I guess he meant that the guy had something, he had some talent. Don't give up, keep working at it, and use this little hiccup to move on. So, here's to the pros and what they have to say, huh?
Well, I think you might have spent more time with James after. I hung out with him, with Dale, and a bunch of the other magicians early on in my magic career when I worked at the magic shop at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. So that was probably in the 80s and a little bit into the 90s. And after that, just kind of went off and did my own thing. So I kind of didn't really hang out with him all that much, but I think you did. But I do have warm, wonderful memories of times with James. Every time I do my Chinese act, which has taken me around the world, I think think about him because the mutilated parasol that I used was something that he gave me because he never paid us for the Chinese act. And that was my payment, but now, you know, a part of him lives with me. It's an act that is very near and dear, and so I know he's a part of me. And I always think of him, and I think there was a time when I think, I don't know how many of you, there's a friend of ours named Lisa Mena who had said, you know, you have to remember the people that made you. And James was one of those people that was in the building of who I became. And so I'm very thankful. And of course, he's very opinionated. When you're young, you listen to all those things that he told us. And later on, as I got older, I, like most teenagers, they want to grow outside of the protection of the mother or the father, and you have to spread your own wings. And that's what I did. And then I had my own opinions. So now we both have strong opinions, and sometimes it was better not to say what I thought because he's older than me. And I know that everything he said has value, and he's been through it more than I have. And so perhaps in my later years, I would be just like him. But also, I don't know how many of you know this, but I put my Chinese act together because I assisted James in a Chinese act. Because I said, here's this Caucasian man doing a Chinese act when I'm Chinese. Why don't I just do a Chinese act? Make it easier. I don't have to do that fake Chinese eyes. You're right?
I tried to do the white act, it didn't work.
Different makeup. You gotta dye your hair and everything.
Grow a goatee.
I had to get a Chinese outfit, you know, tuxedo things. Waiter, can you get me more bread, please?
Yes. But I always remember him and the way he laughed. Remember how he used,
Oh, yeah,
he just cackles and has such a automatic spring of like, ha! I can't even do it. Can you do it?
I can't do it.
But it's just, you know, he feels it and he shares it with you. And that's what I remember of James most. And also the opposite end of that, of when he gets very serious and tells you, can you imagine, how can you perform with dirty nails? And those shoes, look at those shoes, they need to be shined. If you're gonna be, you know, like details. And that's what a pro does. And he was an absolute pro in every way. So thank you all for being here.